Alright, Mackenzie, I'm sure you're getting a little tired of looking at this video, but I figured one more time. Can't hurt. Maybe it'll help. We were out free skiing. I guess this is what, New Year's Eve, maybe? And sole purpose was going out on slalom skis, trying to work more on edging the skis from the snow up, meaning ankles and knees. You're kind of a hippie, and we need to start using a little more ankle-knee angulation, particularly in slalom, but in general, before we move the body inside the turn and create some hip angulation and angles. So let's take a look. We're on, I think on, where are we here now? We're on Inferno. It got better, certainly during the day. And it was certainly better on some flatter terrain. And here you're getting going here, and definitely you can see you're trying there for sure, which is good. There you can see trying to drive that inside knee we were talking about. Outside didn't quite come with it as much and causing the divergence. But the moment we went over the roll here, got a little speed, you kind of went back to using all hip and being a hippie. Things are kind of interrelated, I think. I mean, first off, we talked about a lot as particularly left footers. Like here, you bring your feet too close together in the transition. So, right here, there's really no way to use a lot of ankle and knee. So you have to resort to hip. Number two, what happens with a lot of hip angulation is we tend to have some excessive counter. You could see there, your upper body is facing here quite a bit, and really have a hard time pressuring properly the outside ski when we're that countered. So all these things are interrelated. We got to start with maintaining a consistent a little bit wider, width of the skis, stance throughout, and then just that should help us roll up better using ankles and knees, which should get rid of some of the counter, but at the same time, let's try to make sure we are focusing down the hill with our upper body and slalom. We talked about it. Hands, like to see them more forward. Here we are, kind of in the belly of the turn here. Skis on the fall line, and clearly elbows at our sides. Let's push those elbows forward. One of the rules of arms is elbows in front of the torso. When you really don't bring that hand forward, except the pole plant. Let's also try to remember that our pole plants are really at the end of the turn to begin the recentering and rebalancing, and yours is maybe a hair late. Remember, it's not the old ski school thought on pole plants where we plant the pole and turn around it. At the end there, think about it in slalom. We're going to block or clear the gate and immediately plant. Well, that's going to be really at the end. But you can definitely see, a lot of hip here, which causes, the counter. And when we're countering, as I said, we really can't pressure the outside ski well, and we also can't absorb terrain well. As you can imagine, from this position here, here your skis are basically going down the fall line right now, but unfortunately your upper body is facing this way, and you are looking down the hill, so you got things going every which way. You can imagine that if you were to all of a sudden hit some terrain, a bump, you would immediately unwind that counter and get into an athletic position facing down the hill, because you can't really absorb terrain in a excessively countered position. But the countering comes with the hip. That was a little better there, because here we kept a little more, and you definitely moved forward. You got the hips over the boots. In fact, you moved so forward the tails came off, which is okay. We're in the front of the boot for sure. You know, a little bit wider stance. We can see space there, and you kind of drove the knee in. That's good, and we had less counter. Now, to get flatter here, that helped you, but that's okay. One step at a time, right? And that's a little better, but you know, still countering out to the outside. You're kind of following your skis initially. You can see the counter developing there. You know, feet now went back closer together. Threw the hip in and countered. And not really in a balanced, strong position to pressure the outside ski or absorb terrain. So we got to face down the hill the whole time, let it happen all from below. Maintain a consistent width. Roll up those ankles and knees. Once we go fast enough, we'll move the hip inside the turn. It was getting better. Keep working on it, and we'll get you doing it soon.